Hello, friends. You will be able to listen to your favorite sleep stories without any ads, only and only on the Neend app. So install our app to stay connected with us through stories.
Hi, I am Sumit, your narrator for tonight. This story is beautifully written by Devbrat Bajpai. In this story, we follow the journey of a brave prince named Arjun, who must outsmart a cunning demon to save his kingdom from destruction. This tale teaches about the importance of courage, resourcefulness, and quick thinking. We witness Arjun's journey as he travels across the kingdom, helping those in need and spreading his message of hope and compassion. His legend grows with each passing day, and he becomes known as the brave prince who fought off demons and cured diseases. Even after his passing, his legacy lives on, inspiring generations to be brave, resourceful, and compassionate. Before we turn the pages, make yourself comfortable in your favorite position for falling asleep. Switch off all the lights and close your eyes. Take a slow, full, deep breath and let go. It's time to set the world aside. Let go of your day and begin your gentle transition into sleep. Take another slow, full, deep breath and breathe out any tension in your body. All there is to do now is relax, rest, and be restored. You're in bed now, feeling your body relax from the day. Beginning with your feet, allow all the tension to go out of them now. They've worked hard for you all day and deserve a rest. And so, the relaxation in your feet begins to find its way into your ankles, your calves, and your knees. Now relax your upper legs, your hips, and feel this relaxation flowing up into your abdomen and lower back, your upper back, and your chest. And feel this peaceful, relaxing feeling flowing down your arms, into your hands, and out your fingertips. And then up into your neck head, and face. Now your whole body is perfectly calm, relaxed, and ready for sleep. Soon you'll be sound asleep, off on a peaceful journey into dreamland that will carry you all the way through until morning. So, as you continue to listen to the story, begin to follow your breath. Relax your entire body and settle in for a wonderful sleep experience. Once upon a time, in a far off kingdom, there lived a brave prince named Arjun. He was loved by his people for his kind heart, just rule, and his fearlessness in the face of danger. But one day, a cunning demon appeared in the kingdom and began wreaking havoc, causing destruction and chaos wherever it went. The people of the kingdom were terrified, and the brave prince knew he had to act fast to save his people from the demon's wrath. Arjun knew that he needed to outsmart the demon if he wanted to defeat it. So, he set out on a journey to seek advice from the wisest sages in the land. He traveled far and wide, and after many days of travel, he finally reached the home of the wisest sage in the kingdom. The sage listened carefully as Arjun explained the situation, and then he offered some advice. To defeat the demon, you must use your wits, said the sage. The demon is cunning, but it has a weakness. It cannot resist a challenge. If you can outsmart the demon with a challenge, it will be defeated. Arjun was grateful for the sage's advice and set out to face the demon. He knew that he needed to come up with a clever challenge that would be impossible for the demon to complete. He thought, and finally he came up with a plan. The next day, Arjun rode out to the demon's lair. And when he arrived, he called out to the demon. "I challenge you to a contest," he said. "If you win, you can have anything you want. But if I win, you must leave this kingdom and never return." The demon was intrigued. "What kind of contest?" it asked. "I challenge you to a race," said Arjun. "But not just any race. We will race to the top of the highest mountain in the kingdom. The catch is that you must carry a boulder that is twice your size on your back while racing. And if you drop the boulder even once, you lose. The demon thought for a moment and then agreed to the challenge. "Very well," it said. "I accept your challenge." The next day, the race began. Arjun and the demon set out from the base of the mountain, with the demon carrying the massive boulder on its back. Arjun kept a steady pace, knowing that the demon would tire quickly. But he was surprised to see the demon keeping up with him. As they climbed higher and higher up the mountain, the demon began to pant and sweat. But it refused to give up. Finally, they reached the halfway point, and Arjun saw his opportunity. He knew that the demon was exhausted, and he could see that it was struggling to keep the boulder on its back. So he called out to the demon, "Hey demon, why are you carrying that boulder on your back? You're making this race much harder than it needs to be. Just set it down and run the rest of the way without it." The demon was taken aback by Arjun's words. It had never considered the possibility of setting down the boulder. It had been so focused on winning the race that it had forgotten to think outside the box. So, it set the boulder down, and without its heavy load, it was able to run much faster. But Arjun had already reached the top of the mountain, and he had won the race. The demon was true to its word and left the kingdom never to return again. The people of the kingdom rejoiced, and they praised Arjun for his bravery and resourcefulness. They knew that their prince was a true hero. After the demon had left the kingdom, Arjun was hailed as a hero. The people of the kingdom celebrated his victory with a grand feast in his honor. Arjun was happy to see the joy and relief on the faces of his people. But he knew that his work was not yet done. He knew that there were other dangers that could threaten the safety and security of his kingdom. Arjun spent the next few weeks traveling throughout the kingdom, meeting with his people and learning about their concerns. He listened carefully to their problems and offered solutions whenever he could. He worked tirelessly to make his kingdom a better place for all its inhabitants. One day, while he was traveling through a remote village, Arjun heard a strange noise coming from a nearby cave. Curious, he decided to investigate. As he approached the cave, he saw that it was guarded by a fierce dragon. The dragon was breathing fire and smoke. and it looked ready to attack anyone who dared to approach. Arjun knew that he needed to act quickly if he wanted to save the village from the dragon's wrath. He remembered the sage's words about outsmarting his opponents and decided to come up with a plan. He knew that the dragon loved puzzles, and he decided to challenge it to a riddle. "Dragon, I challenge you to a riddle," said Arjun. "If you can answer it, I will leave you in peace. But if you can't, you must leave this village and never return." The dragon was intrigued. It had always loved a good challenge, and it was confident that it could outsmart Arjun. "Very well," it said. "I accept your challenge." Arjun posed his riddle. "I am not alive, but I grow. I don't have lungs, but I need air. I don't have a mouth, but water kills me. What am I?" The dragon thought for a moment and then gave its answer. "Fire," it said confidently. Arjun smiled. "Wrong," he said. "The answer is firewood. Congratulations, you have been outsmarted. Now, as per our agreement, you must leave this village and never return." The dragon was surprised and disappointed. It had been so sure of its answer that it had never considered the possibility that it might be wrong. But it was a creature of honor, and it knew that it had to keep its word. So, it left the village and never returned. Arjun had once again saved his people from danger, and the village praised him for his courage and resourcefulness. They knew that their prince was a true hero, and they were proud to have him as their leader. From that day forward, Arjun continued to travel throughout the kingdom, solving problems and defeating dangers whenever they arose. He was loved and respected by all his people, and he ruled with fairness and compassion. He had proven that courage, resourcefulness, and quick thinking were the qualities of a true hero. And he had set an example that would be remembered for generations to come. As Arjun continued to travel throughout his kingdom, he came across a small village that was in desperate need of help. The villagers had been suffering from a severe drought, and their crops had withered away. They were running out of food, and they didn't know what to do. Arjun knew that he had to act quickly if he wanted to save the village from starvation. He called upon the village leaders and asked them to show him their fields. When he saw the parched earth, he knew that he needed to come up with an innovative and practical solution. He decided to dig a series of deep wells that would reach the underground water source. With the help of the villagers, Arjun spent several days digging the wells, and finally they struck water. The water gushed out, and the villagers cheered with joy. Arjun then taught the villagers how to conserve water and how to use it wisely. He also showed them how to build a system of canals and irrigation channels that would help them distribute water throughout their fields. Soon, the village was flourishing once again, and the people were happy and healthy. As the village flourished, Arjun decided to visit other areas of his kingdom to see if there were any other villages that needed his help. He traveled far and wide, visiting villages that had been plagued by droughts, floods, and other natural disasters. In each village, Arjun used his quick thinking and resourcefulness to come up with innovative solutions to the problems facing the people. He taught them how to conserve resources, how to build irrigation systems, and how to protect themselves from natural disasters. The people of the kingdom began to see Arjun as a hero, and they showered him with gifts and accolades. But Arjun remained humble, always putting the needs of his people before his own. One day, Arjun received a message from a neighboring kingdom. The message was from a prince who was facing a similar problem to the one that Arjun had faced in his own kingdom. A cunning demon had been terrorizing the people, and the prince was at his wits' end. Arjun knew that he had to help his neighbor. He set out on a journey to the neighboring kingdom, taking with him a team of his most trusted advisors and warriors. As they approached the kingdom, they could see the devastation that the demon had caused. Villages lay in ruins, and the people were living in fear. Arjun met with the prince, and they discussed a plan to defeat the demon. Arjun knew that they couldn't defeat the demon with brute force alone. They would need to use their wits and cunning to outsmart the demon. Arjun and his team spent several days studying the demon's movements and habits. They watched as the demon terrorized the people, stealing their crops and livestock, and causing chaos wherever he went. Finally, Arjun came up with a plan. He would challenge the demon to a game of wits. If the demon won, he could continue to terrorize the people. But if Arjun won, the demon would have to leave the kingdom forever. The demon, being a cunning creature, agreed to the challenge. He was confident that he could outsmart Arjun and continue to wreak havoc in the kingdom. The game began, and Arjun and the demon faced off in a battle of wits. They traded riddles and puzzles, trying to outdo each other with their cleverness and cunning. But in the end, it was Arjun who emerged victorious. He had used his quick thinking and resourcefulness to outsmart the demon. And he had saved the people of the neighboring kingdom from certain destruction. The people of the neighboring kingdom were overjoyed, and they hailed Arjun as a hero. The neighboring prince thanked Arjun and his team for their help, and he promised to repay their kindness in any way he could. Arjun returned to his kingdom, but he couldn't shake off the feeling that there was more work to be done. He knew that there were still people out there who needed his help, and he couldn't rest until he had done everything in his power to make their lives better. He gathered his advisors and began to plan his next move. They decided to travel to the farthest corners of his kingdom, to the areas that were often overlooked and forgotten by those in power. As they journeyed across the kingdom, they encountered many obstacles and challenges. They crossed treacherous mountains, braved raging rivers, and fought off dangerous beasts. But Arjun and his team were determined, and they refused to give up. They pressed on, using their wits and resourcefulness to overcome every obstacle in their path. Finally, they arrived at a remote village that had been ravaged by a terrible disease. The people were sick, and there seemed to be no cure in sight. Arjun knew that he had to act quickly again. He gathered the village elders and listened to their stories and concerns. He then consulted with his own advisors, and they worked together to come up with a plan. They decided to bring in healers and doctors from all over the kingdom to treat the sick and find a cure for the disease. They also set up a system of quarantine to prevent the disease from spreading to other villages. Arjun and his team worked tirelessly, day and night, to care for the sick and find a cure for the disease. It was a difficult and exhausting task, but they refused to give up. After weeks of hard work, they found a cure for the disease. The villagers began to recover, and their spirits lifted. They hailed Arjun as a hero and they thanked him for his kindness and compassion. But Arjun knew that there was still more work to be done. He continued to travel across the kingdom, helping those in need and spreading his message of hope and courage. His legend grew with each passing day, and soon he became known throughout the land as the brave prince who had fought off demons and cured diseases. People came from far and wide to seek his guidance and advice, and he became a beloved figure in the hearts and minds of the people. Years passed, and Arjun grew old. His hair turned grey, and his face lined with wrinkles. But his spirit remained as strong as ever. And he continued to work tirelessly for the good of his people. When he finally passed away, the people of the kingdom mourned his loss deeply. They built a grand monument in his honor, and they told stories of his bravery and resourcefulness to their children and grandchildren. Arjun's legacy lived on, inspiring generations of young people to be brave, resourceful, and compassionate. And his spirit continued to guide the kingdom, even long after he was gone. The kingdom prospered under the guidance of Arjun's successors, who followed in his footsteps and continued his legacy of kindness and compassion. They built schools and hospitals, provided food and shelter to the needy, and worked tirelessly to create a just and equitable society. But even with all their efforts, there were still challenges and obstacles to overcome. The kingdom faced natural disasters, economic downturns, and social upheaval. But each time, the people of the kingdom remembered the lessons of Arjun and his brave deeds. They drew strength from his example, and they worked together to overcome every obstacle in their path. And so the kingdom continued to flourish, guided by the legacy of the brave prince who had once saved it from certain destruction. The people never forgot the lessons of his courage, resourcefulness, and quick thinking, and they continued to pass them on from generation to generation. Even today, many centuries after the time of Arjun, his legend lives on. People still tell stories of his bravery and compassion, and they look to him as a source of inspiration and guidance in times of difficulty. And so, the story of the brave prince and the cunning demon continues to inspire children and adults alike, teaching them the importance of courage, resourcefulness, and quick thinking. It is a timeless tale that will continue to be told for generations to come, reminding us all of the power of kindness and compassion to transform the world. So friends, I hope you enjoyed this beautiful story. And now, it's time for you to relax and drown into a deep, peaceful sleep. Good night.